I've been with you since like the very, very beginning. I remember I remember what your office smells like. Are you still in the same building?
Yeah, we're still in the same building. They painted it and put in new carpet since the last time you were here, though. So,
There you go. Maybe
yeah.
a little refresh and everything. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. Like you said, I mean, 7 years ago is when this all started. I know, that's
I feel
crazy.
I'm 30 now. I was like 22 when I met you.
Here's how I was even thinking about it. I'm like 7 years ago, my son was 3. Now he's 10, and he's showing me the TikTok and the YouTube shorts of Charlie Puth and Light Switch and everything.
Well, that makes me feel young. That at least is good. Thank you, your son.
Yeah. Yeah. How you been, man?
I'm good. You know, it's very, your son, like 10 years old. I was in Malibu one day with my dad, and a gaggle of 10 to 12-year-olds were running up to me saying, by the way, I'm 30, by the way. They were like, when does Light Switch come out? I'm like, I thought my career was over. And now that's such a cool feeling.
Well, now you've sort of started it to cross almost different genres, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
you had when you first came out, you had the teenagers or the early 20-year-olds. Now they're in their 30s now. Now they're starting to have kids, and they're introducing those kids, to your music that you're still putting out there, which is crazy.
It's wild. It shows me that I may be ahead in my musical career, but as far as life goes, I'm still just where I was when I first met Andre. Everybody, it's not nothing's changed. I still am alone, but that's okay.
I don't like the alone part, but I like the part that you are still who you are. I'll take that. Yeah.
At this point, what the hell do I have? What do I have to prove as like a human? And I'm like, I love me. I love the fact that this Light Switch record was born on the internet, and now I get to talk to you about how it's playing on the radio. They just told me the other day that it's my 8th top 40 song. That's insane.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So with it, because we know it sort of came from the actual sound effect of the Light Switch, and we know you're somebody that really likes to use different sounds and utilize them in your music. did the Light Switch sound come first, or did the rest of the song come first? Which was it?
It's kind of a combination of both. It was the idea in my head before I picked up the phone and started making the talk. It was more about the idea of, I want to make a song with a sound effect. I just haven't done that. And I don't hear a lot of songs where the sound effect is in the song and you don't have to say the title of the song because you just know instinctually what that sound effect is. And I didn't know what the sound effect was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a door closing or something. You're like, I'm so mad I want to close the door. It sucks. But and then I was overthinking and I couldn't think of it. I was getting discouraged, and I thought, I was trying to go to bed one night and thought to myself, I wish I could if I had a light switch, I would turn my brain off just like this. And then I would hear, and I'm like, wait, that's literally what I've been looking for. And I started writing, and it was this like very slow, sad piano song. And I thought to myself, it's been 2 years since I've been, on the radio. I want to come out with a bang. I want to turn up the BPM of this. I want to make it the fastest song played on the radio. And when I had that in mind, I had this drum beat in mind, a little light switch click, I'd planned on it being part of the rhythm of the drums, which I didn't plan initially. And then when I heard that, I just drafted it out and was simultaneously filming the TikTok at the same time. I just heard the melody in my head and even filmed myself coming up with the melody on the TikTok. And it all literally just came about from the internet and getting a reaction from my fans.
Well, and you posted the TikTok, and I know in the TikTok it actually shows you going up to the light switch with the mic to get the sound. Was that just a one take, or did you sit there after recording it, go, that's not the right, sound, light switch sound I need? Are there different ones?
That's at a recording studio called Conway Recording Studios, and it's a legendary recording studio. And even the owner, Buddy, came up to me and was like, "Is that actually the light switch in Studio A?" I'm like, "You bet." And the only it was, so that's the original sound. But all I did was when I was mixing the record, I kind of just added some low end and some beef to it and made it sound a little bit. It was like this, so I made it sound like this and just gave it some bottom to really make it feel like it was part of the drums to give it that punch. And yeah, the whole record just came together from the sound effect. And I thought this is either the worst song I've ever made or the best song I've ever made.
And now there's a plaque next to that light switch in the studio, right?
Well, I don't put plaques in the studio. I'm scared. Like the moment I put plaques in my studio, I'll never have another hit again.
So, and you talked about this being an upbeat song, and you said it's actually, I read this, it's the most exciting, happy, uppity lyrical piece that's on the upcoming album. Yeah. Now, it's been a couple years, and I know that I believe you were working on the third album before the pandemic even hit, and then you sort of decided to scrap some of that, or even go back and rework some of it. So what's the rest of the sound? Yeah,
I scrapped all of it. I just wasn't, man, Andre, I just wasn't telling the truth. And the most important thing you can do as a songwriter is to tell the truth. Whether people like the song or don't like the song musically, that's a different story. But they can't deny if it's the truth. So I just wasn't telling the truth. And I ran into Elton John at a restaurant one day, and he basically kind of said that, but in a little bit of a harsher tone. And it really resonated with me. I'm glad he said it the way he said it to me, because I was thinking it, I just kind of wasn't admitting it to myself. So the moment he said that, I said, okay, time to take a step back. Pandemic happened. We were all at home. I said, I'm going to re-fall in love with the internet. I'm not going to hold on to songs for years and pretend I'm so important that like nobody can hear them. It works for some artists, doesn't work for me. I'm oversharing. You can hear my whole album on TikTok right now.
Yeah. What was your I know you said you were thinking it when Elton said that, but when it came out of his mouth, what was your initial reaction, do you think, or your facial expression?
I mean, I agreed with him, but I was dying inside. I was like, yeah. I was just it was like a punch in the gut, but a wake up, more not a punch in the gut, a wake up call. It was like a slap. It was a musical slap, because I respect him so much, and he's a legend, and him telling me that I'm capable of much more musically, especially when I agree with it, meant a whole lot to me.
And I know that you and him actually did work and collabed on his collaboration album that he just put out.
I actually told him that he needed to make an album, and our song set that off.
Oh, that's awesome. That is great. So listening to all the different songs that are out there now, something that you hear, what song do you hear that you say, you know what, I wish I would have written that song?
I don't think you know what, I love and my the Gale record, ABCDEFU. I think that's so lyrically creative. It was produced by my good friend Pete Nappy, who I actually went to Berklee College of Music with. Congrats to him and everybody involved in that record. And it's an Atlantic artist, so I can, give a shout out to a fellow Atlantic act. But
I hear like the cha-ching in the background when you're, giving a little props to the same label artists and stuff.
Yeah, keep spending money on life. I like everything else. I love Kodak Black too. But I no, that regardless, I'm always envious of, like, when someone comes up with something really creative. Like when I heard I Can't Feel My Face, and when I met you in 2015, I was like, man, I didn't make that. That makes me so mad that I didn't come up with that. But then I made other records that maybe I wouldn't have made without hearing I Can't Feel My Face.
And also, I know with the Super Bowl, you and Megan Thee Stallion were in. Did you get to pick the fox? Did you get to say, this is the animal that I want to be in this commercial?
They suggested it to me, and I think they did the fox because it rhymes with beatbox. And all I had to do was just go to a microphone, put the beat to Push It by Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
And I feel so weird saying, and Salt and Pepper. And I just gave the beat to them, and then they animated it and made me dance like a really cool fox. They made me look like I knew how to dance. I wish I could dance. I wish I had that much swag in real life, but I'm just the goof.
Now, when you have guests over or have a party at your house, is it nothing but Cheetos and Doritos since doing that
I have
commercial with them?
unlimited supply. I have so many. Anything flaming hot you need, I have.
All right. Well, Charlie, man, it is always a blast. I could sit here and talk to you forever, but I know you got
I
other.
miss you, man.
I know.
It's been so long.
It has. It's probably been 3-4 years since we've had you come through. And that seems like forever ago, especially with COVID now. But I'm hoping, once things clear up, once the album is out, you'll be hitting the road and making a stop here, and we'll be able to hang out in person. Yeah, I think the last time we did it, I challenged you to a Pop-A-Shot basketball contest.
and then the world soon found out, fully broadcasted to your millions of listeners, that I knew nothing about basketball.
But you still went to the Super Bowl too.
And I didn't even know what the end zone is. So that's okay.
Charlie, it's always a pleasure, man. We love Light Switch. We can't wait for the whole album to be coming out. And people can always follow him at Charlie Puth on TikTok, on Instagram, all over social media to see and get a taste of the new music that's to come.
Thank you, Andre. And you'll hear the album when it's done. When it's all, we'll give you a link. You can check it out.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Charlie.
Thanks, man. Speak to you soon.
Sounds good.